Hey everyone, this is One Spittin'. I have a battle report for the second game I played last weekend using a Minotaur-themed beastmen army. And I should just say now, this is not the ultimate Minotaur-themed army I'm going to build. This is just using the models that I currently have. So it's still pretty gore-heavy. Anyway, we faced a Warriors of Chaos army. We rolled up a pitched battle, still 2,500 points. You can tell by the deployment that we were both trying to trick each other into not given away where we were deploying, and I went left corner, he went right corner. And so I think he saw himself as outranging me with the Hell Cannon and with 3 spellcasters, and so he wanted to keep his distance so I couldn't rush up on him and then weaken me with the Hell Cannon before we got into combat. And I just wanted to hold up in a corner to keep my guys close together so I get leadership and rerolls from the Hell Cannon, and then hopefully have time to pick and choose my battles. So it's kind of interesting how it played out. So this is the far left corner. I've got Minotaurs on the left with a musician, then a unit of, there's 5 there, then 7 Minotaurs with a musician and standard bearer with my Doom Bull, and he has the standard build. They of course start off frenzied. Then I've got a large unit of Gore with a battle standard bearer and a Tuskor chariot, and then an almost identical unit of Gore with my Great Bray Shaman. Then in the middle of the table I have another Tuskor chariot and a unit of Harpies, and then on my far right I've got a Razor Gore. So on his far right he's got 10 Chaos, they're cavalry, I'm blanking out at the moment, but anyway, 10 Chaos Knights with the Blasted Standard, which doesn't have any effect this game. Then he's got a big unit of Chaos Warriors with the War Banner with an Exalted BSB, who's also a level 1 mage, and he's got Miasma, so he's Lord of Shadow with the signature spell. So Chaos Chariots, 5 Warhounds. Behind the Warhounds you can see he's got a small unit of Marauders with 2 level 2 sorcerers, both with the Lore of Fire. Then he's got a Chaos Lord with the Crown of Command, for board save, stubborn on a 9, I believe, so he's pretty nasty. Some more Chaos Warhounds. There's the dang Hell Cannon that causes me so much grief. And then on the far left, he's got another chariot. So he wins the roll off to go first, so he moves up, as you can see. So it's looking like that. There's this chariot on my far left. Against this thing, I'm just going to rush up my far left unit of Minotaurs and let them charge me. I mean, I don't want them to keep my unit of Minotaurs out of the game, dancing around with them. So now you'll notice too, he failed his rampaging roll for the Hell Cannon, so his Hell Cannon couldn't shoot at me this turn, which I thought was just absolutely fantastic. That's one of the dangers when you have your army, because he had his battle standard bearer on the far right, had his general in the middle, so he had good leadership. It just he failed it and didn't have a BSB nearby, and then he ran just a ton forward. So he's actually in decent charge range of me. So we go to Beastman turn 1. So I take both of my Tuskor chariots and charge the Hell Cannon. I'm really hoping just with 2d6 strength 5 impact hits to do several wounds on it, and then I just need to hold him up for a couple turns. He can kill both those chariots as long as he can never fire this game. If they can hold him up a couple turns and then get my Doom Bolt into the side of that Hell Cannon, I'll be very, very happy. Otherwise, I just really reformed. I think I reformed my rightmost core unit and my BSB's unit. I just kind of wheeled around, just trying to just keep my lines together, and I want to stay as far away from him as possible, to be honest. I wanted to give my Minotaurs time to work up the left flank, and I just go from there. I do have the Amber Spear magic missile, so I do have some range potential. There we go. There's the charge. Really hoping I do a lot there. This is ugly, but this is on the far right-hand side of the board. Basically, he moved up so far that I had a decent chance of making these charges. So I went ahead and took the Harpies into a unit of Warhounds and took the Razor Gore into his Chaos Chariot. Really, I think I have pretty good odds there. I mean, those Harpies have 2 attacks each to his 1 attack each. My Razor Gore only has 3 attacks, but he is strength 6 in the charge. So, if I might as well, if he's going to make those charges easy, let's get that chaff off the table so they can't cause me problems later on. So after combat, Yeah, basically, with all the things I did, I only killed 2 dwarfs and didn't do any wounds at all to the hell cannon. I was really, really, really disappointed with a dual charge there. Then he only did 1 wound to one of my chariots, and so that was he had to have been disappointed. That was pretty surprising. So we stuck, and I'm very, very happy to see that. I just, even if he charges me on his next turn and then breaks my unit, you know what? He can't shoot on his turn, so I'm absolutely thrilled with how that turned out. Over here was crazy, just absolutely crazy. My harpies charge in, and I'm initiative 3. I don't know what initiative he is. I think it's the same, but regardless, he kills 4 of my 5 harpies. I do 1 wound on him. 10 attacks, 1 wound. I was somewhat disappointed with that. The only good news is when he pursued me, he didn't catch my remaining harpy yet, and not that it's going to matter, but I'm kind of, he's facing the wrong way with those hounds. That harpy's in the middle of his lines. So any unit that charges it's going to make it flee, and then he's probably going to have failed charges, and it won't be like he's marching. You can see my Razorgore charged into his chariot, did 0 wounds. He did 2 wounds on me, and ran me down, I broke, but he wasn't able to run me down. So I was pretty unhappy with what happened on the right-hand side of the board. All right, so we go to Warriors of Chaos turn 2. If you look on the upper right, his Warhounds charged my Harpy. I fled. He was able to run me down and kind of got out of his way. You can see his other units were still able to march up. He brought another unit of Warhounds in front of my Gore unit. I'm not sure why he was redirecting me, what he was trying to do, because if I charge him, I'll almost certainly beat him in combat, and then I can just reform to face his lines. And so it's not like he's going to get a flank charge on me. He brought his Chaos Lord off down to the side, so I couldn't charge him. Over here, he charged in with his chariot against my Minotaurs. Like I said, I mean, I hope he doesn't do too much harm to me, but it's not worth keeping those guys out of the game, worrying about that chariot. And here's on the far right side. So you see the Warhounds, they caught my Harpy, passed the leadership test, and were able to reform. And after combat, again, these chariots, I mean, they're not doing anything. I mean, I don't think I did a wound to the Hell Cannon. I might have done 1 wound to it. He did 2 wounds to one of my chariots. You know what? I'll take it. That's just awesome. I should be able to get my Doom Bolt in there next turn and just clean that thing up. Over here, even with his impact hits, he only did 2 wounds on my Minotaurs, so he pretty much had an epic fail there. And my guys did 3 wounds on him. I kind of thought I would have killed him, but whatever. At least, at least I'm winning that, and I should kill him next round of combat. And we go to Beastmen turn 2. So the Razorgore rallies, which I was thrilled with because I'm going to need some redirection here pretty soon. My big unit of Gore charges his Warhounds because there's really no downside to it. You can see he's really hanging back with his unit of Marauders. They're just a bunker to house 2 spellcasters, so they're not doing anything. Still locked in combat with the Hell Cannon. The bad news is my Doom Bull and the Minotaurs failed their charge. So I really need at least one of my chariots to hang in there so that he can't shoot me during his turn. So, yeah, I was really kind of bummed about that, the Doom Bull failing. After combat, if you look at the left, he did 1 more wound on me, so it looks like he did 2 wounds on me, so I lost a Minotaur in my leftmost unit, but they killed him and were able to reform. My rightmost Gore unit easily beat the Warhounds. I just killed them. So then I just reformed again, and with my middlemost unit of Gore, I just kind of turned them. I'm trying to keep my battle lines together as much as possible, and really, my preference is just to back up. I'm not anxious to force any combats. I'd like to keep my line together. So Warriors Chaos turn 3. His chariot at the top charged my chariot, and no, I take that back. It either charged and failed or just moved up as much as it could. If you look at his Chaos Knights, I actually got the Curse of Honor here off on them, and so I think he just walked up. I'm not sure if he marched. If he marched, he didn't fail any dangerous terrain tests. But anyway, you can see how he's pulling everything around. Overall, this is what it looks like. He did decide to pull his spellcasters out of that unit. I have nothing really to shoot him with, so he wants to bring that unit into combat. He flew his general up right in front of this gore unit. Uh, I'm not sure why he did that. I mean, obviously that unit can do nothing but charge him, and he's probably thinking he's going to sit there and chop him up. I mean, I'll have 2 banners and 3 ranks for a long time, so more than likely I'm going to be winning combat. He'll be stubborn 9, but no reroll, so there's a good chance he'll stick around, but there's also a chance I'll break him. Of course, if I break him, he'll flee 3d6 to my 2d6, so he's likely to get away. So he might have been thinking he just wants to hold that unit up, combo charge my other unit, and go that route. Over here, very, very happy. The last dwarf is dead. I've done 3 wounds on the cell cannon, 2 wounds left. He killed a chariot. I don't care. The big thing is it held him up. So now my Doom Bull can charge in on my next turn. So we go to Beastmen turn 3. Really 2 big things of significance. One, all his models that are painted red, well, I shouldn't say that. His Chaos Knights, his Chaos Warriors on the right-hand side, they're both Mark of Khorne, and so they're frenzied. So he's got his Battle Standard Bearer nearby, so they may not have to charge. But I just want to kind of hold those guys up in combat until I can have both of my Gore units, hopefully, and my Minotaurs ready to do some combo charging. So I park my Razor Gore in front of his Chaos Knight so that if he charges me, he'll have to overrun, and I'll get a nice juicy flank charge with my Gore unit. He may elect not to charge, but if he does, what's he going to do? He's just going to have to sit back. So the other thing is my Doom Bull finally decided to get in combat with that Hell Cannon. And of course we charge his general because I really think we're going to win combat. If I don't, I'll be steadfast rerollable. But for the most part, I'm just not worried about it. There we go. We're going to make short work of that thing. And here's an ugly picture. And after combat, it looks like that. Hell Cannon died. I overran with my Minotaurs. This is a case where I'm actually kind of glad I only went 1d6 instead of 2d6, because if I went 2d6, I might have gotten a flank charge by his Marauders. But as it is, if they charge me, it'll be my front, and I don't think they want to do that. At the bottom, you can see whatever happened in combat, whoever won, it's a push. There we go. There's just a close-up. Close-up blurry picture. And we go to Warriors Chaos turn 4. So his chariot charges my chariot. I flee. His Marauders decide they do not want to charge into the face of my Doom Bull unit, which I don't blame them. I think he's just kind of angled off so that if my Doom Bull charges anything, he's going to be able to get a rear or flank charge with his Marauders. It's not a bad plan. He moved out of my line of sight, so my Minotaur unit cannot charge him. I got Curse of Honor here off on his Chaos Knights. If you look at the bottom right corner, we'll get there in a second. There's my chariot fleeing. There we go. So I got Curse of Honor here off because I just, those Chaos Knights, one of the easiest ways to kill them is just through dangerous terrain tests that you fail on a 1 or 2. So he didn't want to charge, and he failed his leadership, I believe, 8, and there's a BSB nearby. He failed it again, so he had to charge. Dangerous terrain killed 2 knights. And then more important, or just as importantly, his Warhounds failed their leadership test to march. If they could march, they could have moved up and redirected my Gore unit. But as it is, there's nothing he could do. If he moved his full 7 inches, it wasn't going to stop me from flank charging his knights when they kill my Razor Gore and overrun. He couldn't get past the knights, so he just stopped where he was. Yeah, there's that. I mean, I appreciate the Razor Gore sacrifice. He's going to die. And then after combat, I won through sheer combat res. He has 2 wounds on him. I did one wound each round of combat. So he lost. He was stubborn 9, and he failed it. And he got away. But again, this is his turn. So my turn, I get to charge him again. And now I have a decent chance of catching him because he's only 1 inch ahead of me. But I get my base 5 movement before, and then I get to add my 2d6. So that's just a ton of points that could possibly die for him. So Beastman turn 4, yeah, he killed my Razor Gore, he overran. I got the flank charge with my Gore unit. He couldn't flee because he's frenzied. My other Gore unit charged his general. He fled. I caught him. And I think both of us right then are thinking that's probably the game. My Minotaur unit tested not to charge, I didn't want to charge his chariot and get stuck and then get charged by his Chaos Warriors and his Marauders. I mean, those Minotaurs are tough, but they're not that tough. And quite frankly, I just don't need it. If his Warriors charge my BSB's unit in the front, that's going to be a tough one, but I think I'll be steadfast for a turn, and so I think I'll be okay there. The Minotaurs on the left tried charging his Marauders. They failed it. My chariot rallied, which I appreciated. And yeah, I beat these guys through sheer combat res, and then pursued him. And even though he has 3d6 my 2d6, I caught him, and that's just rough luck. I know I hate when I play Bretonnian and my knights get run down by infantry. So I mean that really is. I mean we're going to keep on playing, but that's going to be tough for him to overcome. We go to Warriors turn 5. He kind of surprised me. He wheeled these guys around and charged the flank of my bottommost gore unit instead of charging the front of my BSB's unit. And I think it's a brilliant move. I just really kind of didn't see it coming. He tried to charge the Marauders into the flank of the gore unit at top, but they just failed it. And so now they're going to get flank charged by my Minotaurs. They can flee, but I've got a real good chance of catching them. So they're kind of screwed either way. Yeah, down here at the bottom, those Warriors are going to chop me up, and they're frenzied. They're base 2. They have halberds. They're going to do a lot of damage. I'm really just hoping that he won't kill my Great Brave Shaman, and that I'll be steadfast long enough to bring in the cavalry, so to speak. With his Marauders failing, I should beat the chariot easily enough, and I'll let it go and reform, and then come into his flank. So that's what I'm hoping. Looks like that. Looks like that. Different every angle. So after combat, yeah, we killed all his Warhounds. He chopped up a bunch of my guys, but I passed the steadfast. I passed my ability. I passed so I could reform. And then I reformed this way just to get as many attacks as possible, because I know that on my next turn I'm going to have that other unit of gore come into their flank, and I really think I'll be steadfast and I'll just be able to chop them up better. So overall it looks like that. And I'm saying this at the end of the game. We actually did roll this out, but there at the bottom I came in and did a fair number of wounds, mainly because of my Horde unit. He still did a bunch of wounds, but just with three ranks, a charge, a flank, and I guess, oh no, we got a challenge between his Battle Standard Bearer and my Battle Standard Bearer, and my guy killed him, which is, in my book, almost unheard of for a Wargore to beat an Exalted. But he wasn't built. His guy wasn't built to be super offensive. He was, he was a level 1 wizard, and I just kind of got lucky. I have 3 attacks, and I got the spell that gave him +3 strength, and +3 attacks. So I had 6 attacks at strength 7, re-rolling to hit. So I really just needed to survive his attacks on me, and I was able to do that, and then killed him. So I had a charge, 3 ranks, 2 banners, a flank. All that overcame the wounds that he did on me, broke him, ran him down. The Minotaurs at the top went into the flank of his Marauders, chewed them to bits, broke them, did not run him down, but he had what? 1 fleeing unit of Marauders in a chariot against my whole army, and at that point we just called it a game. So, yeah, I feel like I've had some beginner's luck with my Minotaur army. Even the last game, even though technically I lost it, it was pretty much, it was pretty competitive. These Minotaurs have some real weaknesses. I think if I play them a lot, the people I play will get used to them and will exploit those weaknesses. But as it is, I'll take the victories when they come. Hope you enjoyed it.